The Porsche 911 long ago took its place in the pantheon of automotive history. Now, the 8th generation of the model is in pole position to carry on this proud family tradition. Car tester Klaus Nietzwitz points out the Porsche 911's typical design features as they appear in the 8th generation. For instance, the round, flat headlights and the long nose and hood. Emblematic for the 911 are the familiar long fenders in front, with a roof sloping down towards the rear. What's different about the 8th generation is that it's 8 millimeters shorter and 5 millimeters higher, making this 911 somewhat more compact. It's also 4.5 centimeters wider, which is especially noticeable in its broader rear. The car looks both sexy and very solid, he thinks. Of course, the engine's new, as are the steering and other engineering features. Unlike most new sports car generations, the new 911 is both wider and heavier than its predecessor by a good 50 kilos, making for a total weight of 1,550 kilograms. Casting the shell components mostly in aluminum instead of steel has also made the body generally stiffer than before. Klaus is thoroughly impressed with the way the 911 drives on normal roads. This particular Carrera 4S has all-wheel drive and a 450 horsepower output. That translates into 331 kilowatts with a maximum torque of 530 newton meters for the 6-cylinder twin-turbo. The Carrera 4S leaps from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 3.6 seconds and reaches its top speed at 306. Klaus notices a new assistance system among all the others, the wet mode. Among many other functions, it makes the gas pedal respond a bit flatter so the engine builds torque smoother. That helps prevent fishtailing and makes driving in the rain generally safer and more pleasant. In wet mode, acoustic sensors installed in the front wheel housing detect water sprayed from the road, and the assist immediately adjusts the ABS and stability and traction management systems. This changes the overall drive responsiveness. On all-wheel drive, more torque is sent to the front axle, and the locking ratios are reduced on the electronic rear differential lock. At the same time, the front cooling air flaps open, and the rear spoiler extends to its highest position, enhancing balance and driving stability. Klaus says most of the Carrera 4S's drivers will use it for everyday driving, not to race. That's why he's always appreciated the 911's practicality. You can take it on vacation or just to the store. Even bristling with assistance systems and practicality, the 911 remains a sports car through and through, and shows it. The large air intakes that dominate the front hark back to Porsche's last GT models. But for the first time in the model's long history, Porsche has put the 911 on two different tire sizes. With 20-inch tires in front and 21 inches in back, that improves the handling even more. The broad rear is defined by a full-width light bar. Another new feature is the third brake light in the shape of the number 11. The cockpit also contains a few references to the original 911s made back in 1963, including the analog tachometer. It's time we took this one out on the track for a lap or two. The first thing Klaus notices is the tight steering and the car's traction, even without the rear wing and its three settings. At over 150 kilometers an hour, it's at its highest position, and Klaus can feel the downforce. That helps with braking and steering. Klaus describes the suspension as giving the car a completely neutral ride with the help of the all-wheel drive. He imagines you could drift beautifully with the car taking the curves with grace and ease. He's having fun, and he's not just flattering Porsche's engineers when he says that. Once again, they've put a 911 on the road that's a solid piece of work. The best one so far, he says. He's already looking forward to the next one.
Der hat es in sich und der ist der beste Elfer, den es je gab. Aber ich bin mal gespannt auf den nächsten.